Gorgias is a dramatic philosophical dialogue in which Plato stages a searching confrontation between philosophy and rhetoric, between the pursuit of truth and the pursuit of power. Set in Athens after a public exhibition by the famous rhetorician Gorgias, the work unfolds as a sequence of debates led by Socrates, who interrogates not only the nature of rhetoric, but also the moral foundations of political life, ambition, and human happiness. The dialogue opens with Socrates questioning Gorgias about the nature of his art. Gorgias proudly claims that rhetoric is the greatest of human skills because it grants power over others through persuasive speech, especially in political assemblies and courts of law. Under Socrates' probing, however, Gorgias is led to admit that rhetoric does not teach knowledge of justice itself, but merely the ability to persuade audiences, often ignorant ones, about what is just or unjust. Socrates draws a sharp distinction between true arts, technai, which aim at the good of the soul or body through knowledge, and mere knacks or flattery, which aim at pleasure and persuasion without understanding. Rhetoric, he argues, belongs to the latter category, alongside cookery and cosmetics. It gratifies desires but does not improve the soul. As the discussion continues, Socrates exposes a tension in Gorgias's position. Gorgias wishes to claim that rhetoric is morally neutral, that the rhetorician is not responsible for how his persuasive power is used, yet he also insists that rhetoric should be employed justly. Socrates presses him into a contradiction. If rhetoric does not teach justice, how can it reliably produce just outcomes? Gorgias concedes that rhetoric can be misused and that its practitioners often lack genuine moral knowledge. This concession weakens rhetoric's claim to be the highest human art and opens the way for Socrates' deeper critique. The debate then passes to Polus, Gorgias' younger and more aggressive pupil, who shifts the focus from moral responsibility to raw power. Polus argues that rhetoricians and tyrants are the most powerful people in society because they can kill, exile, or confiscate property at will. Socrates counters with a paradox. Those who act unjustly are not truly powerful because they do not do what they genuinely want, namely what is good for themselves, but merely what seems advantageous in the moment. True power, Socrates insists, lies in knowledge of the good, not in the ability to dominate others. Acting unjustly harms the soul, which is far worse than suffering injustice at another's hands. Socrates introduces one of the dialogue's central and most provocative claims. It is better to suffer injustice than to commit it, and better still for a wrongdoer to be punished than to escape punishment. Punishment, properly understood, is a form of moral medicine that heals the soul by correcting injustice. Rhetoric, by contrast, often serves to help the guilty evade punishment through emotional manipulation, thereby deepening their moral corruption. In this light, Socrates redefines justice not as external success or reputation, but as the internal order and health of the soul. The final and most intense exchange occurs between Socrates and Callicles, a bold Athenian aristocrat who openly embraces moral conventionalism and the pursuit of power. Callicles rejects Socrates' moral framework entirely, arguing that conventional justice is a tool invented by the weak to restrain the strong. By nature, he claims, the superior individual ought to dominate others and satisfy his desires without restraint. Happiness for Callicles consists in the continual fulfillment of one's appetites, supported by intelligence and courage. Socrates responds by dismantling Callicles' vision of happiness. He compares the unrestrained life of desire to a leaky jar that can never be filled, in contrast to a disciplined soul that achieves harmony and stability. Pleasure, Socrates argues, cannot be the same as the good, since some pleasures are harmful and degrading. True happiness requires order, self-control, and justice within the soul. Without these, even the most powerful individual lives in inner chaos, enslaved to appetite rather than master of himself. As Callicles grows increasingly impatient, Socrates turns from dialectical refutation to moral exhortation and myth. He offers a vivid, eschatological myth describing the judgment of souls after death, where earthly power and reputation are stripped away, and each soul is judged naked according to its justice or injustice. In this final vision, tyrants and rhetoricians who ruled unjustly are exposed and punished, while those who lived justly, even if they suffered in life, are rewarded. The myth reinforces Socrates' central claim: the ultimate stakes of human life concern the condition of the soul, not worldly success. In Gorgias, Plato presents philosophy as a radically countercultural enterprise. Against the glamour of rhetoric, political ambition, and domination, Socrates defends a vision of life grounded in truth, justice, and care for the soul. The dialogue offers no easy reconciliation between philosophy and politics. Instead, it leaves the reader confronting a stark choice between the seductive power of persuasion and the demanding, often unpopular pursuit of moral truth.